Hey everybody. Okay, so I know that looking at me as raccoon in a hoodie may be distracting, so I'm not going to leave this on forever. Plus, I mostly am going to show you something in Word today, but I do love a good trash panda. So when I saw this, I had to become it. So there you go. All right, so I am going to share my screen and we are going to be looking at a Word document. I am therefore going to unshare my lovely video, even though I feel like I might fall in love with raccoon in a hoodie. That may be my new identity from this day forward. So what I have done is I have used the template that is in the Library Citation Center for the current student version of an APA document. So some of you have been doing this like gangbusters. Others of you have struggled. Some of you have done the same thing that is not correct in every single assignment. And I know I've said it out loud 32 times. So I want to put this before everybody at once so that we can start to get things going where they need to go. Because, of course, you do still have some major assignments, including the formal analytical report. And it's going to be really important, of course, to get the formatting and documentation down for that. So this is the document. You've got a cover page. I have not filled everything out, but I did make a title for it: Technical Instructions, Navigating Run Disney Events. I don't want you to do that. I want you to ignore it. It's not going to. Anyway, underlines make me crazy. So you would put, of course, your full name, the school, your course number, me, and the assignment date. If you're turning it in on a different date, you can just use the real date, not the due date, but the template does talk about that. The main thing I wanted to show you was the fact that in these reports, we do not have to be 100% stuck on APA formatting for the report itself, the physical document itself. But we do want an APA cover page and we do want an APA references page. So double spaced, hanging indent for the references, alphabetical order. These reference pages should be 100% in line with APA rules. There are some really good citation generators for web-based things. I use scribbr.com, SCRIBBR.com. There are, of course, the course materials and the library citation center materials go through how to cite all the sources. And most importantly, if you are using real academic resources, you do not have to worry about citing them properly because the citations are provided for you. So I'm not going to go back over that. But when you pull a source from the library, you want to also pull the proper APA formatted citation. You will probably be doing some web research, but I do want to see a bit of an upgrade in your research for the formal analytical report. So you want to make sure that you are also consulting the Lake Sumter Library and utilizing those sources. If you need help finding sources in the library, that's what librarians are made for. They love it. So do not hesitate to reach out for that. You will find the folks there to be extremely helpful. I wanted to show you some of the things that you can do to make the interior look professional. So one of the main things is when we're using paragraphs or lists, a lot of times we don't want those double spaced because it ends up taking up so much space. But we do want to have space above and below them. So I'm going to go through here first, just super easy. I'm going to go through here and I'm going to put extra spaces around what I consider to be my headings. And we're going to talk about how to use headings in Word. I've talked about it before, but I noticed that when I was looking at the instructions, almost nobody is using them. You're using bold, or you're creating a much larger font. There's a lot of things that people are doing, but they are not utilizing the tools that are there. So one of the main things I want you to get used to is when you are creating things like a list, you're going to use bullets. When you're creating things like a heading or a subheading, you're going to actually utilize the formatting styles in Microsoft Word. So each one of these is going to become a heading. And I'm going to use, let's see, let's go back. There we go. Use heading 1. And this does make it larger and it does change the color. But mostly what it is doing is actually formatting it using proper coding. Now, I am not by any means aware of what coding really does. Absolutely not. But it does make this look professional. Now, if you wanted to, you could even make this a title. Titles get real weird, but let's center it and let's make it 2 lines. Okay. Now, I would not change the formatting for the title to an official title up here because this is part of your regular APA style, right? The other thing that you can do is open the styles pane and you can decide what you want for each of these types of things. You can also go to design and you can adopt one of the pre-made ones. It will affect your font and size on the references and the cover page, and that's okay. The spacing is still there, the header is still there, all of that stuff. So if you really want to have a document that looks different, you can certainly do that. You can play around with these. There are tons to choose from. Now, I'm going to undo all of that because I just want to use the regular plain style that that Word does. So this is back to where all I have done is gone up here and I have made this a title, and then I have made each of these a heading number 1. I can also use, if I didn't like the way that looked, I could use different I could go to heading 2. I'm not seeing, where the heck did they hide heading 2? Let's say I wanted to change this to, oh, I think I've turned something off. Well, we're gonna leave it. I don't mind blue. Blue's fine. But really use that coding. It's going to make things a lot easier. One of the things that it's going to allow you to do, and you don't necessarily have to do this, but one of the things it would allow you to do is to create an actual table of contents. So I'm gonna add one. This is a short document, but for my formal analytical report, this might be kind of cool. So we're going to insert a, is it undercover page? Nope. Insert a page break, and it's under references, and I want to add a table of contents. So what that did is added a page 2 that I didn't have before, and it's got everything marked as far as where the items begin. Now, if I had subheadings underneath these, and I might, let's do, and let's do, so these are then subheadings of what I'm doing. So I want this to be, I want this to be heading 2, and I don't understand where my heading 2 went. Mm, let me choose one. Let me just choose one of these. Okay. So then let's say heading one. I still don't understand where heading two went. Oh my gosh. There should be underneath heading, there should be heading 2, 3, 4, and 5. I don't know where I don't know where they went. Um in your ribbon, you should have not only heading 1 and strong emphasis and all these others, but you should have heading 2, heading 3, heading 4. I don't know where they've gone. I'm not gonna fight with it. I'm not gonna worry about it, but there should be additional headings. So I'm gonna take these out. If I don't have them available, I don't want to try to use them. But if I were to use that, that's what I would do. Now, this is just a list, right? So this is going to have bullets. And we're gonna put underneath each one, we're gonna put 85. We're gonna put no time limit uh character interaction. We're gonna put for the 10K, and I'm estimating these. I have signed up for races fairly recently, but I may be off on these. 120, 16-minute mile pace, photo ops. Oops. Half marathon. Let's see, 150. And these two both still apply. Let's just copy all three of these. For under the full marathon. That is also only once a year in January. Excuse me. And let's put 200. I don't remember. All right. So the challenge medals vary by race. Usually combine 10K and half marathon in January. The Dopey challenge is all the races. Usually about $100 per person. Virtual options, much less expensive. And then we have marking the calendar. So again, what I've got is really a list here. And I've got the various races by month. And so I'm going to bullet them, but then underneath I need the signups to start with that date. I would put those underneath. Oh, I didn't even put that one in there. Okay. And then sign up start. Okay. Then for timing notes, I've actually kind of put that above there, but let's say this is where I would actually maybe write out some paragraphs. For the 5K, there really is no time limit. I would imagine if you're still walking 3 hours later, there could be problems. but the balloon ladies do not stalk you. And again, I'm going to make extra space in between each one of these since they are going to be little paragraphs and not a bulleted list. Now, I'm not going to do a whole bunch of writing here, but what I would want is to have at least that long-ish of thing for each of these pieces. So this would be a section that would get much longer. And have more explanation. So for example, who are the balloon ladies and why do we hate them? They start at the back of the final race corral and walk the whole race at a 16-minute per mile pace. If you fall behind the balloon ladies, you are in danger of getting swept. Okay, and I would do the same thing with the next paragraph. Again, I'm not going to write these out, but you can see what this would look like. The timing notes would end up being a little bit longer. And then with the training tips, this might be, I could do a lot of different things with this. I'm going to make it a bulleted list for right now, but I could do the same thing that I've done above and add details below. Excuse me. Or I could write out paragraphs. I could include websites that you can use to help yourself get ready, et cetera, et cetera. And so when I get done, you will notice that when I save this, I'm going to go ahead and save it. The table of contents should update. Does timing notes still start on page 3? No, it does not. So I need to tell it to update. And then if I have added any subheadings to my headings, again, mine have disappeared. I have no idea why, but those would appear on the table of contents as well. So if I had been able to put shorter races and divide things out like that, you would see those on there as well. So that's what it looks like. Now, if this were really my thing, I would also be adding some visuals, right? Because we have to add visuals. So let's go right here and add a visual. I happen to know that I have some Run Disney visuals available, except I need to go to the right place maybe. There we go. Where did we go in our cute outfits? Here's one. All right, so let's insert this visual. Now, this was another thing that a lot of people have been having some problems with. This is going to be called Figure 1, and it's going to be Pamela plus Patrick Endicott and Jackie Pierce having crossed the finish line at the 2022 Princess Weekend 10K race. And then this is my own picture, so I do not need a citation, but if I were going to have a citation, it would be here. Let's just pretend I'm citing it, 2022. And then there would be a corresponding entry on the references page. So that's what your figures should look like. There should be a caption that should number it, and it should also include an actual explanation, and then usually a citation as well. So that's a little bit of help with how to do the official formatting in Microsoft Word. Hopefully your headings are working better than mine. By the way, you can resize these things if you'd like. I like that this just takes up the width of the page, but if you wanted to make this smaller and you wanted to have text around it, you certainly can. But the less you do that, the easier it is to work your visuals in. So I say let them take up a whole page width. All right. I hope that helps. I hope everybody's having a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Everyone, take care.